Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm with Pathways of Light. I'm so happy to be here. I was reading a book recently, A Walk in the Physical, and there was a chapter that really caught my attention. It was about how we each influence the world. I went back to this chapter repeatedly because more than any other time in my life, I have felt helpless to influence things. But he was saying that we already do affect the worldview. So I delved into this idea to see how I was affecting it and how I might like to do this differently. It began with our physical reality is preceded by a non physical one in which we both individually and collectively help to drive what is physically manifested. One of the great forces that moves that process forward is expectation and belief. Thus, what you believe, the nature of your worldview, is actually important for how our local experience will actualize. The idea that my thoughts can influence others is not a new one to me. My study of A Course in Miracles has taught me that our minds are connected, and so we do have an effect on others. You may have experienced this yourself without realizing it. Have you ever walked into a room and just known the occupants had been arguing? You just felt the tension, right? Or maybe you know someone who is typically a happy person and you feel happy when you're with her. I have a friend who's very peaceful. When I visit her, no matter what is going on in my life, as soon as I sit down with her, it all falls away and I'm at peace. Sometimes we barely speak, we just sit in peace together. On the other hand, I used to know this person whose life was full of drama. Just being in the same room with her was the opposite of peaceful. It was not my drama, but I could sense it, even feel it sometimes. Quoting Christian Sundberg again, as we play the game, certain thoughts, ideas, and beliefs tend to gain or lose momentum within the collective consciousness. That momentum is a powerful force. It's important to recognize, however, that the collective momentum always starts and ends with individual momentum. The individual is important. What you believe, your worldview, is important. There are billions of people out there, each with a point of view. How is my point of view important? Well, my point of view is going to add momentum to the matching point of view of others. Let's take the idea of judgment. Jesus says we shouldn't judge, and because I trust Jesus, I accept what he says. I try not to judge, and if I do judge, I forgive myself and try again. This adds momentum to the view of a world where we don't judge each other. Instead, we love and support each other. Others think it is an obligation to judge, and to fail to do so is to shirk one's duty. These viewpoints are opposite. Which one will prevail? Depends on how many of us support one or the other. So each person's point of view matters. It's not that one will be allowed or even one will win, and so the other point of view will disappear. But it does mean that if the majority of people stop judging each other, our experience of life will be very different. We can see this dynamic at work most easily during the election campaigns. As one politician picks up more voters, others who are not fixed on their point of view will start to lean in that direction. You can watch it shift during some elections, leaning first to one man or woman and then toward the other. When momentum begins to lean heavily toward one of them, the outcome of an election is decided. Sometimes, often really, my viewpoint on an issue will be in the minority, or maybe I will be undecided. But I wonder what I am to do. How can I influence the momentum? When I have asked Jesus for help answering that question, the thought that came to me was this: what does the situation need? You've probably noticed that hot topic issues can cause a lot of conflict. Discussions can become heated. Suppose the topic was abortion. You can see what I mean. Both sides are often completely convinced they're right and that it is necessary that they win. You're not going to hear friendly banter in this situation. So when I ask myself what is needed, I know that it doesn't need me to add anger, fear, or guilt. There's plenty of that already. So I add what's missing. My worldview, regardless of the topic, is one that creates a sense of loving support. I love everyone on both sides of an issue without judging either side. I might have a preferred outcome, but that will never override my desire for kindness and civility. I took Jesus seriously when he said to love our brothers, and everyone is our brother. So asking the question Jesus gave me, what does the situation need, has been all the guidance I need. I want to live in a world where everyone cares about everyone else. This would be a true democracy. If the issue was decided and it was not my preference, I would accept it easily because I would care about every person, not just the ones who agreed with me. I may be in the minority in this worldview, but my thoughts matter. Here's something else Christians said. One person who shines bright with truly loving intent is like a beacon giving permission to many thousands of others to shine their light as well. Love is always going to be stronger than fear, and in the end, will win out. So if we're living a life based on the teachings of Jesus, even if we don't always live up to those teachings, our intent is going to be more influential than others. I want to invite you to think about what you are adding to the worldview. Is it in alignment with your spiritual principles? Are you being influenced by love or fear? What are you inspiring today within your mind and heart? If you're not sure how to approach a thorny situation, or if you don't know which side to move toward, I encourage you to ask that question. What does the situation need? Give it that. If it's not peace, love, joy, and kindness, maybe think again. That adage from the 90s, what would Jesus do? It's still appropriate. And don't be discouraged by the apparent scale of the problem. Instead, as Christian says in his book, rather recognize your power. For one person who is fully present and acting from a state of responsibility and genuine love can make a huge difference and inspire many others to do the same. Thank you so much for listening to what I have to say. I hope that I shared something with you that will be inspiring in some way. And the book that I took this information from by Christian Sundberg, A Walk in the Physical, Understanding the Human Experience Within the Spiritual Context, the larger spiritual context. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your attention